Hello all and welcome to Intro to Defensive Football, my webinar. I start out here with a couple of housekeeping items just before we get into the real information of the webinar. Just a couple of things here. First of all, throughout this webinar, it's gonna be a information overload. So we're gonna be going over a lot of stuff really fast. So we need to be paying attention, which actually brings us to our next note there, expectations. I expect this to be like a normal classroom setting where you're paying attention, you're asking questions, you're participating. Once again, with all the information given to you in the next hour, if you miss one thing at any point because you're not paying attention or because you didn't ask a question, the next stage in the information might not make sense. So please participate, ask questions. Make sure you can ask questions over here in the chat box at any time, or you can raise your hand using your mood. So please ask questions. Make sure we're on the same page before we keep moving on. All right, time for you to get involved here. We're going to start out with a quick poll to see you guys' experience and knowledge of football. So here we go. We have question is, how would you label your knowledge of football? Absolutely nothing, minimal, average, or high. Once again, this is just going to help me to know how fast or slow I'm going to be able to go through all the information here. So once you're all done voting, just stop voting here. Move on to our next slide. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be going over is
your line is now unmuted.
Is over three. Over three basically, or a basic definition is a three. It's a three deep, four underneath defense with a four-man rush at all times. And one quick note here before we keep going, in the notes section here, I prior to this webinar, I added a couple questions here. So if you want to look at these, and you can take notes yourself. These are just the key things that I want you to be able to pull from this presentation. When we're done, you should be able to answer all these questions. So I would be looking out for answers to these questions throughout the webinar. And if we get to the end, obviously, and you still don't feel like you have a good answer to any questions, please ask. 'Cause I'm sure if one person doesn't know the answer, it means probably everybody else doesn't know the answer either. Okay, so we'll go to our first thing here and make this bigger so you can all see it. Hopefully you can see this all. So our first formation here our first defense here is over three. So just the I pro formation. You can see the third, the strong safety comes down as a force defender and a curl flat defender. Sam's a hook curl. Mike is a hook curl to this side. Will is curl flat out here. With the corner being the other third player and the free safety being the post or the deep third player in the middle of the field. So if there's not any questions there, that's pretty basic. We come down here to the bottom one, it gets a little more interesting. So we call this, we make a Connie call, which brings our corner over. You see the corner here instead of over here like he was in this top drawing. Now the corner is the force curl flat player, with this corner being the deep third, and the strong safety now being the force to the deep third on this side over here. The reason we make Connie call is to make this look like man-to-man coverage over here, and bring the corner over. We're still actually playing a zone behind it. You can see as you go across, if you count across, first guy inside the box right here is me curl flat and the force player. Second guy is always going to be hook curl. Third guy is going to be hook curl. And the last guy is going to be curl flat as well. And it's the same if you go from left to right or right to left. So we have first guy is curl flat, second and third are hook curls, and the fourth guy is curl flat as well. There's not any questions there. We'll move on to the next slide here. So now we're actually going to do a little activity to help you better understand what we just went over. And we're going to use what we call the 3 A's. of defense here. So number one is alignment. You got to know where you line up. Number two is assignment. You got to know what to do. And number three is adjustment, because as most of you probably know, offenses tend to move around a lot, and you have to know how to adjust, who plays where, and you got to be able to really understand the defense and be able to adjust to anything the offense does. Excuse me. So I'm going to close this now for actually. See over here in the chat box before we started, I actually put a link to a Google Doc that I created, and I've invited you all to. So we can go over here and jump to the Google Doc. So now we just have a drawing, some of the exact same drawing as we just had. So the I-Pro formation over 3. And we're just going to do activity, something that we do a lot on defense for activities. We like to get the formation up here and move the guys around and really and make sure that that we can adjust and we can line up correctly every time. So here we go. So we're going to take this guy right here. I'm just going to go like this and move him all the way across. A slot formation like we had earlier. So now we have to do is bring this corner over. So we called that Connie earlier. And so now we're actually going to take this label here, curl flat, and bring it over, because now it goes to this guy. And the third, this guy can actually back up a little bit. Now he's the third. Does everybody understand how we did that? It's real easy. So now we're going to have, so it's still the same.
Your line is now unmuted.
Still the same basic formation, but now we have 2 guys over here. So we have to adjust to it. We have to line up correctly. So now as we look at it, we still have our Sam to the tight end, the Mike, the Will, but now this is a corner with a Connie call. And the other corner there in the deep third. I'm just going to go like this, help you out a little bit. Connie. You go like this. This means that it was a call made on the field. So Connie, so like that. So we're just gonna go. I'm gonna go undo, and I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning formation. I'm not gonna do like that actually. So let's just go back to the original formation. Right here, the corner's gonna come back over here. Flat players still right here. So now here we are, back to the original formation again. And now I'm gonna change something else. I'm gonna take this guy right here, and I'm going to move him out of the backfield. So now he comes over here. So once again, we have to adjust. And how we adjust to this. There's actually 2 ways we can do it. It kind of depends on what we prefer. A lot of times we'll just keep the strong safety here. We'll actually move him up outside this tight end out here and keep him to curl flat. And now all we do is we say this guy now has to go out and cover down on number 2. So it's going to look like that right there. And now we can actually bump these guys over. So you can see line up right there. And you can line up right there. The same defense. Now really everybody's in the same spots. We just had to spread out because the offense spread out. So the curl flat, the curl, and curl flat again. The same spots they were earlier when this guy was back here. Now that he's not in the backfield anymore, we got to spread out with him. So we're gonna go strong safety, Sam, Mike, Will, free safety, corner, corner. And then so the next thing in the progression here is to just bring this guy over here. And now this is where it actually gets really easy, because all you gotta do is bump back in the box here. So he's gonna go outside this guy now. come outside. He's gonna bump back in the box here. So is this guy. So we're all, it's like, if you imagine we're all working on a string here. We're all just bumping with the formation. So now we're overloaded to the left over here because the offense is overloaded to the left. You think about it like that, where they offense obviously dictates how you line up, but once they line up, as a defense we have to adjust and line up accordingly, or else you're going to be outmanned to a certain side or out of position to a certain side. I hope this activity was helpful. I'm going to pop back over to the webinar presentation because we're running out of time here, and I actually have another poll for you so I can kind of learn how much you guys are learning. I know we went fast there. I know really nobody got to ask any questions. In the real webinar scenario, it'll go much slower as people ask questions and whatnot. This is something I would do at the end of the presentation to make sure everybody learned what they were supposed to learn. And it's okay if you feel like you learned none of it. That's fine. You can answer none, minimal, about half, most, or all. What I like to do here. So let's say we said minimal. So let me say a lot of people said minimal or about half or none. We're going to stop the voting. We're going to go ahead and come to the chat box here. And I'm going to want each person who mentioned that they were minimal, anything minimal, half, or none, to maybe go look at these notes right here and go back and just say, this is question 1, sorry, 2.
Your line is now unmuted.
3, 4. What question? Like you go into the chat box here and say which question, maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4, and maybe you can get more specific. But tell me what you didn't learn all the way. Maybe you want more explanation on, and we'll go back right now once everybody puts in their the question they're missing. Well, that's about all the time we have for today. Hope you enjoyed, and hope you will participate in my full-length webinar next weekend. Thank you. Bye.